morning, good afternoon, good evening, dear viewers and listeners. Welcome back to another episode of Beauty Lies Beyond podcast with me, Miriam Rose. I'm joined today in studio by yet another amazing human, Amwayi. So I'll let him introduce himself. And we're going to start with today's topic, which is Dhamma. D-H-A-M-M-A. But before you tell me what it means, introduce yourself.
Thank you. My name is Amwayi Tsuma, Kenyan-born human. I consider myself a citizen of the universe. Born and bred in Nairobi most of my life. I work as a consultant in research and monitoring and evaluation, but I'm also a Dhamma practitioner. So the word Dhamma has several meanings and spellings depending which language you're using.
That one is the one we need to clarify.
Yes.
So Sanskrit is D-H-A-R-M-A.
Correct.
Which means purpose, the purpose of a thing, or exactly, or righteousness, to live in a righteous way. You're living the purpose of your life, your dharma, which is what most people know, and righteousness. So living in a dharmic way, you're living in a righteous way. So what does dharma mean?
Okay, so that's one way of translating it. Another way of translating it is the laws which support existence.
Okay.
So that can be
fair enough. Yeah.
So for us gravity is part of dharma, because it supports existence. So when we talk about righteousness, it's just basically living in line with dharma.
Yeah.
So when you're living your dharma, basically you're in harmony with whatever that law or that structure has set out for you.
Fair enough.
Or for the flow of your life.
That makes sense. So the dharma without the R is...
So that is Sanskrit that you've mentioned. There's another language called Pali, which is the language that the Buddha spoke in his time. So that one is spelled D-H-A-M-M-A. And essentially it also means the universal law that governs and supports existence. But then also now in Buddhist contexts, it's used to mean now the teaching of the Buddha, the path that he has given. Yes.
So I'm so happy to have you in studio because finally I have a Buddhist in studio. I had a guest, I was telling him earlier, I had a guest in studio who has gone to a Buddhist monastery and he experienced a lot of peace and he wanted a similar experience. So he thought he had to go back to Korea. So I told him, no, you don't have to go back. You can go to the Buddhist temple in Doresho. So I have this friend who is a Buddhist. You're a Buddhist?
Yes.
Or a Buddhist practitioner.
Yeah.
So you're going to tell us more about the practices and also tell us about the Buddha.
Okay. Thank you. Oh, that sounds like a broad topic.
Okay, fine. Feel free to narrow it down.
Yes. So I came across the teachings of the Buddha many years ago, around 2010, 2011. I was a bit of a bookworm and also working in the research industry. Reading came naturally, was part of the job. And since childhood, I've always been interested in two things. I remember as a child, I was fortunate enough to live in a home where there was a library, so there were books always. And my favorite books were the encyclopedia and the Bible.
Yes.
So that trend followed through into adulthood, where interested in the sciences, interested in now when I grew up, I became interested in consciousness and then other religions, spirituality. So naturally, I came across the teachings of the Buddha. I read them and I was like, this is interesting. I remember the first time I was reading books about his teachings, I was like, wow, this is very logical. Makes sense, because having grown up in a context where we are told things from the East are non-Christian, therefore
evil, satanic.
Bad. But I was like, this thing makes so much sense. So yeah. So eventually that journey, that curiosity, I got to a point where reading could not do anything more for me. And everything that I had read was just pointing to that now you need to take up a practice. You need to learn meditation, basically. That was the entire gist of it. And this was around 2016. So you can imagine from 2010, 2011 to 2016, just going through life, reading not only Buddhism, also a bit of Hinduism, esoteric stuff, and then finding now that the Buddha's teachings is where my path lay. So 2016 now, I tried the many YouTube meditation videos. Oh, visualize this, visualize that. But it never felt right or natural. Something inside me told me that meditation is very simple, nothing complicated. So I continued searching, and eventually I came across the Nairobi Buddhist temple on Google, because I was looking. Actually, I searched yoga teaching in Kenya, and then I searched Buddhism in Kenya. For yoga, I found that it was mostly the what we can call hatha yoga, the asanas, the physical practices, nothing spiritual, so to speak. But when I saw the website for the Nairobi Buddhist temple, I was like, wow, this is it. So actually, I remember it was a Wednesday. That very same day, I drove there.
Interesting.
And I remember walking in, and there were two feelings. One, there's the trepidation or kawoga from your conditioning that hizi vitu za Wahindi and from the East, they're non-Christian. But by that time, I think I had developed enough faith in my journey that I knew that whatever is sending me in this direction is a righteous thing. The other feeling was the peace in that place, the calmness. And I was like, wow, okay.
Yeah.
This place just feels... So on that day, I didn't get the head monk, but I was told, come back on Sunday. The head monk will be giving a talk. So I went back on Sunday, and I sat at the back, and I listened to the Dhamma discourse, and just like the books, very logical, very sensible. And I was fortunate that the teacher is called Bante Wimala. He's very good at humanizing the teachings of the Buddha, making it easy to consume. So I could relate and say, so this is it. Then there was a session for questions and answers. I asked a couple of questions based on my experiences. And I think that kind of confirmed that, this is the place for me. So continued now attending the Buddhist center, where now they taught now the basic teachings of the Buddha, practices of Buddhism. And I took it up, now the study and the practice of meditation. So that's when I started proper meditation. Okay, not really proper, but basic meditation. And it reached a point where I felt now I need to deepen my meditation practice. Because at the temple, you can't really go very deep because it's different people with different levels of commitment coming and going. So I remember one day I'd gone there. So there's a small community where after the discourse and meditation, you have tea, chit-chat. And then a friend of mine whom I'd shared my aspirations with told me, hey, I've seen this poster about Vipassana meditation, a 10-day retreat. I think this is the thing you're looking for. And I knew.
Hold, we will talk about Vipassana separately. Let's go back a bit to when you say practical.
Yes.
What are the things that you found practical that drove you there? And I'm taking it that you said you literally drove there, so you must have been old enough.
Yes.
So those two, what are the practical things?
So at this point in my life, I'd realized, of course, you go through some challenges here and there, and you question yourself, you do some introspection.
Even the questions, what questions were going through?
Like, why are my relationships not working out well? Why don't I seem to be having certain emotions? Why am I not able to even understand emotions or relate to them well? Then it dawned on me that I knew nothing about my mind.
Interesting.
And I know nothing about the mind, and it's the same thing that I use to conduct life, basically. So that for me was like, wow. No wonder you are. So fast forward in terms of what is practical, the teachings help you understand the structure and function of different parts of your mind. So when you're able to see that from an impersonal place, it's quite liberating and empowering. You're no longer subject to the patterns of your mind, whether it is anxiety, whether it is anger, whether it is serious craving or addictions. Yeah, you start to understand how your mind works. And that now gives you the tools to start basically managing your life in a better way. So, yeah.
Wow, awesome. I love that. And so for you, those were things that you were confronting, like the relationships, the anger, the relationship issues, the anger, the anxiety.
Yes.
And what about that did you realize, like how the mind was contributing to that? And was the tool meditation? Sasa ndio tutaenda Vipassana.
Okay. So essentially, a Buddhist practice, if I can call it that, is two-pronged. So there's the teaching, which has theory. So it tells you, so the mind is made up of 4 components and the body is made up this way. So this part of the mind, when it receives this type of stimulus, this and this happens, and then this and this happens. So seeing those aspects of your mind, you're like, aha, okay, that makes sense. But then now there's also the meditation where now you're actually like reprogramming your inner mind, your deeper mind to stop reacting. Because essentially what happens is across our lifetime, we've cultivated the habit of blind reactions at the subconscious level. We only catch them when they've bubbled up into full expression. So yes, the teaching, you have to understand it a bit, and then now the meditation brings it into your living, so to speak. Yeah, because theories will not change.
It will enter and live.
Yeah, it doesn't change your subconscious mind, so to speak.
Is the subconscious mind? Yeah.
Okay, no.
Because people think the mind is in the brain and it's not true.
Yeah. So actually, one thing you realize is that the mind is all over.
Yeah, so that's a question. Where is the mind?
It's all over.
In your aura, in your body?
It's all over.
Is it consciousness?
So, okay, now we are delving into it.
Tunaenda mbali.
Tunaenda mbali.
Okay, let's come back. We will talk about the mind because I'm very interested.
There, yeah.
Okay, again, before Vipassana, because I know that is a very instrumental tool in managing the mind. Tell me a bit about the conditioning. So I'll take you back to your childhood.
Yes.
What are the conditionings that you had? Because those are things that people are actually suffering right now.
Yeah. So, of course, you don't know that you have that conditioning initially. You just have a behavior which you find that is not working out well for you. So when I investigated, again, being a researcher, I also read quite a bit about psychology and psychiatry. So started understanding things about, let's say, anxiety. And they talk about genetic factors and then childhood factors. So things like if you're separated from your caregivers early, the things like separation anxiety, maybe if the people who are around you might have traumatized you in some way, not necessarily physically, but let's say emotionally and so on. You start now seeing how certain things that happened in your childhood made you look at yourself and the world in a certain way, basically to protect your inner child, so to speak. So maybe if you are bullied or somebody beat you.
Can you give us a practical example? If you would love to share your own experience.
So since I'm here. So there's an event that happened when I was in class 4 that I didn't fully understand the weight of until I did my first Vipassana course, funnily enough, because that's when many things came up. So basically, you know how back in the day beatings were a common thing in school? So,
corporal punishment.
Yes, corporal punishment. So on one day I was beaten up with this pipe that had some kind of crack, so it cut my thigh and I bled, so I felt quite bad. I felt that I'd been violated. So went to my mom and I told her this and this happened. But I don't know, maybe not wanting to baby me, wanting me to be tough, told me, just brushed it off and kind of like protected the teacher. So later on is when now the memory when it came back, I felt very betrayed and
Betrayed.
unprotected. So to protect me, the conclusion was you can't trust anyone in life, not even your own mother.
Wow.
So yeah, that was a terrible thing. Not good for relationships. So yeah.
Evidently.
Yes. So yeah, so things like that you are able to confront and start to harmonize. Yeah.
So how did you, now we can go to Vipassana, how did that end up coming back out and being dealt with?
So maybe we start with what Vipassana is.
Feel free.
Yes. So Vipassana is, so the word Vipassana basically means to see reality as it is. And when you say reality, in the teachings of the Buddha, reality is, there's conventional reality and then there's ultimate reality, like the stuff that really makes up existence. And then there's the way that we experience it or how we subjectively process what reality is. So Vipassana is being able to see through all that to now reality. So Vipassana meditation is basically cultivating your mind's ability to interact with reality at that level.
Wow.
Yes. So, and Vipassana meditation is basically taught in 10-day residential courses. There's a website where you basically apply, fill in your details. If you are accepted, you're given when the meditation will happen, how to inform your family and cared people that you'll be away, because you won't have your phone, you won't be talking to anyone, communicating to anyone outside the meditation. And essentially that is to, is it limit or to it's kind of like in an operation, you create a sanitized environment so that the operation can
Yeah.
Yes,
Successful.
Yes, and one thing I learned why it is also like that, the mind has a tendency of picking up things and turning them into stories. So during that period, you want to reduce that effect of new things coming in. Yes. So essentially, during the 10-day course, now it's a progressive training. So the first 3 days, you start focusing on the breath with the objective of sharpening your attention to be able to, one, focus on a small point just above the upper lip and below the nose. If your attention can stay there for more than 2 minutes continuously.
2 minutes.
Without, so that is what you try. So there is not that you must, you try. Because also one thing you realize later, part of the training is also humility. So you try, you fail, you don't get, like, okay. Yeah, so you just come back, you keep trying. And then now, once the mind is able to stay there a bit longer, you also notice that the mind starts feeling sensations in that area. And then now, by that stage now is when you move to the next step of the meditation training, which is now what they call actually Vipassana. You're using that sensitivity to scan your entire body from the head down to the toes, just feeling whatever is in that part of the body without judgment, without evaluation. You try not to react. Keyword, you try not to react. Because initially you'll most likely react when you meet, maybe it's an itch, maybe it's a pain. Yes.
I can't itch. I can't scratch and itch.
Well,
Try not to scratch.
Because scratching is a reaction.
Interesting.
And so now going back to the theory, the mind has two tendencies when it interacts with sense impressions, because that's what it is. It'll either react with craving or aversion. This is the typical ignorant mind. So what registers as a good feeling, we want more. So even normally people say, oh, the meditation was wonderful. Why? Because there were very pleasant feelings. Oh, it was a terrible meditation. Why? Oh, my knee. Oh, I was itchy. There was a back pain. Yes. But one thing that now I personally learned, the importance of that scanning and how it's related to the mind. There's a quote that says that the body remembers everything, that emotions are actually stored in the body.
The body keeps score.
Yes, yeah, exactly. And this now you start experiencing directly. Because you'll notice that when you have a certain emotion, there'll be certain sensations in certain parts of the body. When you have certain types of thoughts, it's a different part. And vice versa, sometimes you're scanning, the mind is okay, chilled, you reach a certain part, it triggers a certain pattern of the mind. So that's why I was saying the mind is not in the head. It's kind of like all over.
Wow.
Yeah. So essentially that is the aspect of Vipassana. Feel whatever is on the body without reacting, without creating a story around it. Because again, part of the ego's game or the inner child that is wounded, it will take feelings and turn it into a story, a self-defense story, then project it outwards. Then that's the type of relationships that you'll be having.
For example?
Okay, I remember once, this was an interesting one. I was in a matatu. I was coming from town going home. It was on Mombasa Road. And then by that time, because part of the practice also is continuous mindfulness, just observing what is happening in your mind, body, and environs. So the matatu passed a billboard. This billboard had a tractor in a farm. And in less than 1 second, there was tension in the body.
Interesting.
And yeah, so luckily because of that mindfulness, I could see which thoughts came up. So I saw the poster and instantly associated it with a farm. At that time, our family was having issues with the succession. So there's a piece of land somewhere that, at that time, I remember I was very broke. So you're broke and you're projecting your brokenness
On a billboard.
on if that succession had been done, I will not be broke like this. So you start generating negativity towards other family members.
Wow.
So you can see how that can affect your relationships.
It spirals.
Yeah, exactly. So it's, oh, so-and-so is a bad person, so-and-so is a bad person.
So you're saying that Vipassana can help us see the billboard and just see the billboard and go.
Yes.
Like without
So even
anything.
before seeing the billboard, first of all, you have to see your own conditioning. The conditioning that makes you behave in a certain way that is not harmonious. So you'll see that first. So actually, now in terms of daily living, I think I'm going a bit ahead, but we'll go back and forth.
No worries.
In terms of daily living, you'll notice that as your awareness grows, initially you'll start reacting to your own, let's say, patterns of anger, patterns of lust. You'll start judging yourself initially. I think that is normal because you have an ideal that you're trying to impose, but you realize, again, back to the humility, that's not how it works. Because it's like a lot of energy had been put into forming these patterns. So this energy has to play out. You can't force stop it.
Force stop it, yeah.
Yeah. And the more aware you become of it, the less power it has.
True.
Yeah. So essentially, that's how
It
you
feels
get...
difficult. Why?
To be honest, and no lie, even Goenkaji, now the teacher for Vipassana, says, no miracle cures. With Vipassana, you have to work. So, and the work is basically now daily. Now, after the 10-day course, daily in the morning and in the evening, you work very hard to maintain 1 hour in the morning, 1 hour in the evening of meditation. Because essentially what it's doing, and I think even now research is out that is showing the same, meditation rewires your brain.
It's true.
Yeah. And many of our trauma responses, our behavior patterns, they are hardwired. You can't just stop it.
You can't think your way out of a pattern.
Yes.
You have to rewire the pattern or rewrite the
Exactly.
pattern.
Yeah.
It is easiest. I know it very conceptually. I have coached people. I
Yes.
have trained people.
Yeah.
But do I do 1 hour to rewire my patterns? No, I don't.
Yes. And I think that's where I'm now the people who say they benefit from Vipassana are the people who now maintain the practice after the course. Because the course is just there to teach you the technique and the way of life to support the technique. Because the other aspect of it is also your lifestyle. You can't be out there doing, stealing, being corrupt, lying, doing nasty things to people and expect to progress in meditation or basically that practice of becoming peaceful and harmonious. So over and above the breath and scanning, the
three.
first, they call them, it's called basically sila. Okay. So the first part is called sila, the first part of the 3 points of the practice. So sila means basic morality. Do not kill, do not steal, no sexual misconduct.
Does sexual misconduct include fornication?
Okay, fornication is a Western word. Okay, basically it says don't be promiscuous. If you are sexually active, try to stick to one partner. And there are practical reasons for that.
Which are?
The sexual drive it's a craving. So if I start here, and essentially you're supposed to move from base impulses to higher, so we call, is it values or characteristics or qualities?
Qualities.
Yeah. And when you take this one, and of course the relationship will go as it will. But why are you in that relationship? Just for the sex? Or so the reason you're in a relationship is not just for sex. Okay, even if it's just for sex, you need to question yourself. Why? Am I a slave to sex? Why is sex so important in my life? Because for many people who've been promiscuous, you'll find that eventually they say it's not beneficial to their life. It causes more trouble. Most people who've gone through that phase, including this one, it's not worth it. And that's part of the reason. Then another reason is here you pick up, let's call it energies.
We were actually talking, there's a session we did on sexuality, spirituality of sex. And one of the things we were discussing is that we pick up energies.
Yes.
So
you pick up this one, you pick up that one. So because you are kind of a container. So you'll be restless. You will not be able to enter the calmer states of meditation with all these energies jumping up and down. And then, it's also draining your vital energies.
Your life force energy is...
which is very important for meditation to work.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, back to morality.
So that was sexual misconduct. So sexual misconduct, basically, it's about not causing harm to the other, harm and disharmony to the other and your community at large. So if you apply that,
Good.
You'll understand what sexual misconduct is, what is right sexual conduct. So those 2 things. Then there's right speech. So right speech is basically not lying, not backbiting and telling slander, not speaking in a way that hurts other people intentionally, and also avoiding idle chit-chat. Unproductive idle chit-chat. Because that also gives the mind more...
stories.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then now the final one is to avoid intoxicants or to abstain from intoxicants. Of course, for obvious reasons.
They're not obvious, but yeah.
Okay.
You'd be surprised.
So of course, so personally, like for alcohol, I found alcohol to be very low vibe. It left my body with just a terrible feeling. And I remember after the first Vipassana course, something in my head just clicked that me and alcohol are done. So I remember I gave myself a 6-month window, which I knew if I do these 6 months, that's it. So 6 months ended, and but that also the other thing is about decision making. Of course, when the mind is intoxicated, it becomes subject to, shall we say, lower forces. That's why you can see people who are drunk can get very aggressive, very lustful, very, very extreme behavior. I've not delved so much into other intoxicants, but basically you lose heedlessness in terms of coherence of the sequence of your thoughts and how it relates to reality. That needs to be maintained because, again, a big part of the practice is cultivating this deep and constant awareness. So if you're taking things that are blocking that awareness, you are basically being counterproductive.
Yeah, to
Yes.
your efforts. Does this include psychedelics and weed?
So, okay. So for weed, psychedelic, it's a tricky one.
Kama ayahuasca. Because that's in the spiritual circles, it's
Yeah.
and some of these psychedelics that you take to go to the other realms,
Yeah.
which sounds like a good idea.
So again, what is the motivation? So it's a tricky one. So for psychedelics, again, Vipassana is you have the ability to do anything and everything. Most of these substances, they can easily become a crutch. It's like it has springboarded you. You got a glimpse over a wall, you saw something, and then, so most of the people who rely on these, we call them psychedelics, you'll find that you have to keep going back for you to get
It's unsustainable, yeah.
Yeah, so, and I remember even myself asking, okay, even like, because I used weed a lot for many years at different levels, very unconscious, just for fun, and then for escape, and then for healing, then for self-observation, and then you realize that, okay, does it have a place in my life? Yes, no. It's no longer a need. But yeah, so essentially, and again with the teachings of the Buddha, it's not like commandments that you shall or you shall not. It's just a proposition. If it makes sense to you, you say. So like even the morality, there's this chanting that is done. It's called Panchasila, the 5 precepts. So it says, I take the precept, or it's like I make a commitment not to kill, or I make a commitment not to take intoxicants. And it's quite compassionate in the sense that they know you'll fail.
I like
depending on where you are on your journey. So as long as it's a genuine commitment in your heart, that's what matters. And I think maybe part of, is it law of manifestation or law of attraction? As long as the intention is genuine, eventually the universe will work things. Because sometimes, let's say even if it's addiction, things that are now, if it's physiological addiction, somebody won't come out of it just cold turkey.
Yeah.
They have to be phased out of it. And that's why even in Vipassana, for people who have problems, let's say like with addiction or on medication for various mental health issues, that will continue with your medication or continue with your treatment because you don't want to bring a shock into somebody's progression. So yeah. So, and I remember even recently things like cannabis, marijuana, there are ongoing conversations because of its recent medicinal use. Because I know is it tinctures where they remove the THC, it only has is it CBD, the one that calms the body, doesn't have the psychoactive aspect. So it doesn't make the mind high and sluggish, but calms the body.
Yes.
So that one is being used to treat things like anxiety, etc. So that is not intoxication.
Nataka ukaribie Mike. Naona unaenda ukiendanga.
Yes.
Aya, sawa, tuendelee na Vipassana.
Aha,
Day
yes.
4.
So we talked about morality. Then now that was the first aspect of Vipassana. The second is what we talked about now, concentration of the mind. That's called samadhi. And it's gradual. The mind goes from being very ruffled, slowly, it starts dropping things away to a point where now it's very still. Now, deep samadhi is what now they call the jhanas, or the states of absorption, where the mind is no longer, it's just fixed on the object of meditation. So that is the second. The third bit is called cultivation of wisdom or insight. Basically, the insight that understands, and it's not just intellectual insight, it is inner insight that understands 3 characteristics of existence. So the first one is impermanence. So theoretically, everyone knows impermanence, that things change. But deep in your mind, It doesn't know that. It keeps clinging to things. It keeps wanting to maintain patterns and reinforcing the pattern of us identifying with things that are not self or I. Yeah, which now highlights the third aspect of phenomena, where the Buddha says that whatever is impermanent is not self. Usually people misinterpret this to mean that there is no self. He just says that whatever arises and passes away, that is not self. So once you stop being identified with what arises and passes away, emotions arise and pass away, thoughts arise and pass away.
Bodies
The body,
arise and pass away.
One day it is beautiful, the other day it is like this. So once you start getting insights into that aspect of existence, you start being in harmony. Even your intentions, your aspirations, they start being in harmony with that. So now that is the living wisdom that Vipassana brings. Some interesting story. It's actually something that happened recently. Do you know how there are people who say, oh, I have to leave social media because it keeps triggering me? So I set the intention, or Vipassana has helped me to be able to stay on social media and use the triggers as a tool for inner development. And recently I remember I saw a post, somebody had posted a very wonderful house they built. And the old heart inner child started to arise with envy. And luckily, because awareness is there, it saw this envy. And like a thief who has been seen, the envy just died. And what arose in the heart was, in Buddhism, it's called mudita, like happiness for this guy. Like, wow, this is awesome that this guy is building that. So that is another way that Vipassana helps for you to drop all these nasty behaviors. Yeah.
That's beautiful. Okay.
Yes. So yeah. And where are we? On Vipassana.
Morality, the three.
So I've talked about the three. So morality, mastery of mind, and wisdom. So wisdom is the three, understanding those three.
Okay.
Of impermanence. Impermanence, not self, was the second one. And then whatever is not self, if you cling to it, you will suffer.
I really wanted to talk about suffering.
Suffering. So in the teachings of the Buddha, he starts with suffering. He says, suffering, there is suffering. Because I think that is for many people who end up on the spiritual path, it's some sort of suffering that pushed you there.
Jesus,
So, yes. So the Buddha teaches about the Four Noble Truths. So the first one is the noble truth of suffering. And he says that the entire range of suffering has to be understood, from gross, like death or the body being hurt, to subtle suffering, like I remember this was an interesting one. I was enjoying a meal of chapati and beans, and I remember at some point I had more chapati than beans, and the mind wanted to create suffering.
Allah, yeah.
Because why don't I have the same ratio? So you see, that is it's a subtle aspect of suffering. Or even, let's say, when you're missing someone, sometimes it can become suffering because it's craving, you're hurting. When love really doesn't hurt. Love it's calm, it's uplifting. So yes, being able to
No, I'm just running through my mind and I'm like, wow, I really suffer.
Yeah, so we suffer a lot. Yeah, there is suffering, yes. So that is the first noble truth. Then the second noble truth is the second noble truth of the cause of suffering. What causes suffering? So he says, it is now more detailedly described in what he calls dependent origination. It's very philosophical, don't want to get into it, but basically there are two things. There is ignorance, there is craving, and clinging. Those are the three important foundations of suffering. Because of ignorance, we become identified with whatever arises and passes away, which we experience as some kind of sensation. So with ignorance as a condition, sensation comes, there'll be either craving or aversion. So when craving becomes a lot, it becomes greed and all the maladies that come with greed and craving. If it becomes aversion, hatred, ill will, violence, all the things that follow aversion. So being able to see how these three cause suffering. And sometimes it's interesting, even in meditation, I see that, or practically, sometimes we cling to an image of ourselves. Oh, I remember when I was going through now like a process of transformation, I was so caught up on the image of somebody who's made it that now when things were tough, walking to the mall to go to the supermarket was a trigger.
Wow.
That I'll be seen that now I'm not. So you can see I have taken this image of what I am, which I'm not, and I'm clinging to it that I should be this. Consequently, suffering. Yeah. And I'm sure many of us have many experiences of how we create suffering for ourselves.
Wow.
Yeah, so that is the second noble truth. The third noble truth now is where he brings hope. He says it calls it the cessation of suffering. So you can see that actually that word cessation is very key because sometimes you'll notice just the example like I gave, envy arose and it ceased instantly because there was awareness. So no more suffering from envy. You are enjoying the peace of what do you call it? Appreciating somebody else.
Yes.
Yeah. So that is the third noble truth. Then the fourth.
He doesn't explain how it ceases.
In
cessation of suffering.
Yes. So of course it's the dropping of. So actually it's now dependent origination. It has 12 links, starting with ignorance all the way to death.
Okay.
So actually samsara, I don't know if your audience is familiar with the term samsara, the cycle of rebirth, of death and birth, is basically, that's what he calls it now, that those 12 links, starting from ignorance. He says ignorance conditions karmic activities condition consciousness, which conditions mind and matter, which conditions the sense organs or sense bases. And with the sense bases and organs as a condition, there'll be contact with existence. Contact with existence, there'll be sensation. With sensation as a condition, there'll be, so the word is tanaha, which we translate to craving, but it's actually both craving and aversion, the two sides of the same coin. Then with that as a condition, there's clinging. With clinging as a condition, now there's what he calls bhava, or continued becoming. Like they say, oh, I must be a rich man. So, or I must be this, I must be that. That, the craving for that, it's what like now creates the energy to keep samsara going. So in cessation, when you cut off ignorance, because ignorance is, so in a practical sense, ignorance, you can't cut off ignorance. In a practical sense, what you can cut off is the reaction to sensation. And that is actually the heart of Vipassana. Being able to be with the sensation without reacting. Because now for me what I noticed is when you don't react, the mind becomes spacious. So it's like you can see more possibilities in existence. Yeah. So that in essence is cessation. So you cut that link, you eradicate ignorance because you can see how things are. So when there is no more ignorance, whatever arises, so let's say even a sensation comes, if you observe it with wisdom, understanding it's impermanent, it does not lead to more suffering. It leads towards now liberation. So that is what is cessation essentially. And then now nibbana is what he calls now the final cessation. You've stopped generating what we call sankharas or karmic formations.
Impressions.
Yes. And that is what they call liberation. So in essence, that is cessation, the third noble truth. Then the fourth noble truth is now the path leading to cessation, which is the eightfold noble path with those three aspects of morality, mastery of a mind, and wisdom.
Oh my, it's so practical.
Yeah.
And you're such a good teacher.
Oh,
I can
thank
probably
you.
do an exam after this.
Thank you. I think I've had good teachers as well.
Really? It's
Yes,
so
yes. Yeah, but
structured.
that is just the theory. Again, what we call the subconscious mind or the deeper mind is what determines our existence or how we do life. That's why being able to sit and connect to that. Actually, in the discourses, one of the things that really hit me is when he says, we have created such a huge barrier between our conscious mind and unconscious mind. And he says, it is never unconscious. Whenever a thought arises or something happens at the sense doors, there's a corresponding sensation in the body. And the subconscious mind is always keeping track, recording. And now that's how the impressions are made, the karmic impressions.
Interesting. Yes.
So, yeah.
Okay, so have we finished the 10 days?
So we had reached day 3 is when now we are finishing.
I am already tired. I'm not coming.
Yeah.
10 days of this.
No, not 3 days of the breath, because those 3 days you're just sharpening the mind. And then on the 4th day is when now you are taught that aspect of training scanning the body. But also now from the 4th day all the way up to day 10 in the morning, there are also new levels of how you're doing it. Because also they're preparing you for what you might experience, let's say when you're not in a course. Because if you practice more, of course, you'll progress and you'll get new experiences. So there are different bits of instruction that are given. And then now on the final day, day 10, remember we say that you have entered kind of like an operation room.
Yes.
So now day 10 is like recovery. So on day 10, they introduce what we call metta bhavana, or meditation on loving kindness. So you've removed all the negative qualities. You want to cultivate good qualities, and the highest of those is loving kindness, where you generate thoughts of goodwill towards yourself initially. So like, may I be safe, may I be peaceful, may I be healthy, may I be happy, like that. So there are various formulas for wholesome states. And then now you start expanding outwards. May so-and-so, the animals, the devas, all towards the existence. And I remember this one, you feel the practical benefit instantly. Because the moment you start wishing well to another person, you instantly start feeling good within yourself. And if you feel good within yourself, you'll do good things around you. So that one is also very important. Now the metta meditation. Also in your daily practice, after 1 hour, 5 minutes of loving kindness meditation. And you find that.
Okay,
Yeah.
so now I'll
So
take
that
you
is
back.
day 10.
That's day 10.
Yeah.
And you forgot to mention that there's silence the whole time.
I thought that is one of the things that we said in the beginning. No talking, no reading, no writing. Yes, no even eye contact with fellow meditators. And, okay, of course, for somebody who's not gone there, they might not understand why. But do you remember, like I mentioned, I'm there meditating and my childhood memories are coming
Is
up.
what I want us to talk about.
Yeah. So I can't be interacting with people and I'm dealing with such deep stuff. You need to be you and your
child.
you can start projecting stuff onto. Actually, this is a bit interesting, but it's something that many meditators also experience. Lust will also manifest, and you start. So there's gender separation. Men and women this side, and actually from my experience I think it is kind of good because when lust, now the pattern of lust is revealing itself to you, It doesn't reveal itself to that, like, I'm last, get rid of me. You'll start
funny.
looking over. That one looks interesting. That one looks nice. And the movie in the mind will always lead to.
Why am I starting to feel like that's the true devil? Like that's the real Satan.
Okay, yeah, that's one way of looking at that. Yeah, the devil is in you. It's there. So yeah. So and Goenkaji says that initially it is the heavier things that will come. So like for me, it was now the anger, anxiety. Okay, when you're there, I can't say I felt the anxiety so much, but the anger and the indignation, they were very heavy, leading now even to like, they will see, they will get. And then of course last, those two patterns were very dominant. So it's an interesting 10 days, let me tell you. You won't get bored.
There's nobody I've met who hasn't experienced their own.
Yes, yeah,
Like
and it's
always
unique.
epic. It's
Yes.
always unique, and it's just an epic tale.
Yes,
I haven't somehow I never get to do this 10 days thing, but I'll do it and then I'll tell people
Oh, yeah.
what I go through.
Very
So
welcome.
take us back to that story of your mom, the
Yeah.
betrayal, and how you dealt with it as an example.
So, okay. So, of course, okay, fortunately for me, by that time, as I mentioned, I'd been reading quite a lot. And one of the concepts that I'd come across was the theme of forgiveness. Because, of course, you're reading all these things, you know that to be a good person, forgiveness and letting go of things is important also for your own peace and happiness. But you find that sometimes a thought will come up with so-and-so, so-and-so, and you wonder why. Why do I still have this baggage?
True that.
So, and I remember reading that forgiveness is never complete until you forgive the other person and you forgive yourself. Forgive myself? Yes, forgive yourself for holding on to a wrong view of that entire situation and holding on to that situation as well and causing yourself suffering. So luckily now when all this came, that thought also came that like, yeah, I know I have a lot of forgiveness to do, so I just set that intention. And I think now together with the meditation, because actually during that course, a lot of stuff came out. Yeah, it came out. So that is just one bit of forgiveness that needed to happen, one that was deep-rooted. But you'll find that across our lives, there are many things that we are clinging to and we have put within. Yeah, stuffed in, so-and-so, I'll get this, I'll get that. And now for me, even personally, one thing that it really shone a light on was the nature of my desires. There was a time I remember, even when I was fairly successful, relatively speaking.
You were very successful. Acha kusema fairly hapo.
But I never felt like I've made it or I'm there. I still had this image of me getting, and then, so now later on, because you have more awareness, I remember there was a point where I used to fight this desire for things, like, why should I desire these things? Can't I just be, I tried to be free of desire. But you actually start seeing the layers of the conditions, and I realized that these desires, the unbalanced ones, most of them, let's say you want a big mansion, you want a big car, it always followed with so-and-so seeing you in a certain way, being seen by other people in a certain way. And then later on, I realized this is a trauma response.
Wow.
It's not a genuine or a true desire of the heart, which I think many of us, because why do you want to be better than other people? Because essentially that's what big car, big house is. Because somebody made you feel small. And essentially, our society is predicated on making us feel small. You're not number one. Why can't you be number one like so-and-so? Oh, this school is better than school. Boys are better than girls. Girls are better than boys. And that is always hitting at our inner child. And so coping mechanism, for me to be worthy, I need to be seen, having this, having that. And then now the ego, when it associates itself with that shiny image it has created, what follows is pleasant sensations in the body.
Then we go to the cycle.
The cycle continues. Because one of the cycles I remember noticing was that cycle of fantasy. And I reached a point, I was like, this is not a good way for me to use my mind. It keeps going to fantasy. Why? I want it to stop. And you find that that energy is there. You can't stop it until you see the root cause. And the root cause is sometimes, even when watching something on TV, something will trigger a childhood memory, or even an adult memory that will make me feel bad. So the mind instantly, it will look for a good feeling. And where will it look? The common objects of either fantasy or self-association. So you're like, wow.
Wait, why am I feeling like we're in a trap? Like in a prison, in a trap, in an escape room? The more you talk, the more you see no way out.
So actually, there is a way out.
Ako kanatoshana hivi. This is the way out. And everything else is just the escape room. You can't even just watch TV in peace.
Well, I think that is the early stages of being aware. Before now, the quality of equanimity is developed. You just have to go through the process.
Who created this system, Amwayi?
We did.
Well, we did. I did not. I did not participate.
Not your current ignorant self.
Oh, God.
Yeah, but again, so another thing I learned is our perspective of reality, how we interpret the narrative we create around it. It's like now,
I'm feeling so anxious and angry. And
at who?
At the person who created this escape room.
So what do you think of the proposition that you are God?
Someone tried telling me at I'm the one who created. I'm like, how stupid could I be? Why would I want people to go through endless suffering?
Yeah.
And then come tell them, oh no, but you have a way out. It's like, I always use this example. It's like giving a kid a knife or a razor blade and then telling them, oh, by the way, it will cut you. But oops. Like,
so I don't know if you know about Alan Watts. So Alan Watts has this analogy that makes it he gives it in a playful way. So he says, imagine that when you go to sleep every night, you know about lucid dreaming, right? That you can create any dream you want.
Imagine, because that's...
Yeah, imagine.
Yes.
So the first night, of course, you'll start with the basic desires. Oh, I want to... Then as it goes on, they'll become normal and maybe even boring. They're not giving any progress. So you'll up the ante a bit, maybe even make it a bit risky, make it a bit more challenging. So essentially, he's saying that that is us. We are like what people say, our higher self has, it's like it has sent itself down in this form to, explore or experience specific ranges of the infinite possibilities of existence.
If you say so.
And then again, going back to non-clinging. So one other important thing about clinging is, so the Buddha says there, 3 things we cling to. One is sensuality, sensual experience.
Because it's beautiful and
it's
nice.
Yes. 2 is, I'm trying to remember, Kamatana, Bhavatana. So becoming. Oh, I'm this, I'm that, I'll be this, I'll be that. Oh, I'm not this, I'm not that. That is also another. No, not clean. Sorry. I'm thinking in several languages.
You can use those languages. People will Google.
Because one word triggers an association, and that's how I remember. So
you can say it in that language. Because the people who know this will be like, yes, that's also good.
So there's a clinging to the view, to sensuality, to the view of self, and what you call, rituals? That one will need a bit of explaining or contextualization. So this, what we call view of self, we've projected the idea of I onto the body, onto concepts of society, strata. So I'm a lawyer, I'm a doctor, I'm a this,
Yes.
I'm a that. So that is what the escape room is. So clinging to those ideas of self. But if you don't cling to that idea, what happens? If you don't impose an idea of self on existence, what happens? I usually remember this interview I saw of a footballer who I used to enjoy quite a bit because I used to play football as well, Thierry Henry. So he had scored a wonderful goal, a magical goal. And the interviewer asked him, so what were you thinking when you scored that goal? He said, thinking? I wasn't thinking. It just happened. I just did it. And of course, now I usually think back to that because I think many of us have experienced that you're in the zone moment. When you're in the zone, you're not being an I am this. You're not. It's just happening.
Yes.
But there's awareness. There's flow. So in essence, that is how clinging to what is meant to flow now causes our suffering.
I need to ask you something about the money thing. The money, the big houses, the cars. Because one of the misconceptions and my struggles has been renunciation. So let me become spiritual and not want the big house, the big car. How do you balance that? Because I've met so many spiritual people, and the reason why people shun people, spiritual people away is because of this dichotomy of let me be lazy. Not even let me stay away from money. Let me renounce material things.
Yes.
And when I listen to you, I feel like you're telling me, want this big house and big car and the money once you're zen enough to not want it because it's giving me a title. I am struggling to see the day I will wake up when I don't want the big car and the big mansion when I'm zen. Do you get my point?
Yeah.
It's difficult.
So maybe to clarify, it's not wait to get there to desire. Understand how the desire is arising in you. Don't reject it. Don't suppress it. Just observe. Excuse. So again, it's the point about renunciation. Again, fortunate to have good teachers. Renunciation is not, I will not own a house, I will not own a car, I will not have money. They are not central in my heart. They have a place in conducting life.
Yes.
That's it. If they're there today, well and good. If they go away, I won't fall into depression, become suicidal and all that. Yeah. Essentially, that is the heart of renunciation. And it's not like something you do all at once. As your mind lets go of different self-identities, naturally, things stop being important to you. But as long as your heart is pulling towards something, don't fight that pull. Try to understand it. Connect to that feeling. Understand it. Be clear about it. I think that is a better approach towards renunciation and these things.
That's fair. Actually, that's fair. Can someone be saved from this escape room? So if someone says Jesus came, or this masters or the Buddha came to, can someone be saved from this escape room, or you have to do this by yourself? Because this is going to take many lifetimes. And who wants to be here for more lifetimes?
Okay. So in the words of the Buddha, the Tathagata shows you the way. That's it. I only show you the way, but you have to walk the path.
Carry your cross and follow me.
No, you walk the path. I just show you this is the path. It's like if you want to get to where? Think of a good place you want to go to. Or maybe if I tell you, oh, my place, or maybe if I tell you Kakamega.
To my father.
Or if I tell you, let's say Kakamega is this wonderful place, it's a heaven, it's
beautiful.
And then, how do I get to Kakamega? I'll just tell you, you go to town, you take an easy coach, number this, it will take you up to this, and then here you'll do this, and you do that. So the Buddha is saying that's his job. He has laid down the path that this is the path, this is how it works. This is how you create the prison for yourself. Does he need to do anything more?
Tricks, bro. Because imagine the people who don't know about this. Where are they
so
in?
another interesting thing that the mind does is focus. So my journey, it should be my journey. So always use your journey as an example so people can connect. One of the cop-outs is, how will people do? So you generalize the problem.
Oh,
So,
I hear
so
you.
like for me, excuse me, have a
Imagine.
clearing, is it flu? So of course I grew up in a Christian context where you're told for you to be saved, you have to believe. You might not know this, but I was born again twice.
Hey.
And I remember the last time I was born again, of course, part of my mind is very logical. So introspecting and seeing that I'm not feeling this transformation that proclaiming to be born again or proclaiming to believe this and that is supposed to bring. And another funny thing is, even before I started my spiritual journey, I always felt close to Christ.
Oh, yes.
I come from a place where witchcraft and night riders and all sorts of superstitions are common. And I remember one day we had gone to Shags and somebody talking about being cursed or all that witchcraft. And a thought arose in me like, I don't need to worry about such things. I have protection.
Nice.
And it was such a confident thing that arose. And it's a voice that has come up several times. Even before I took the Buddhist path, I remember kind of like having a conversation with Christ. And I said, okay, the journey up to this point, everything that I've been praying for has led me to this point where it is telling me, go in that direction.
Nice.
So I just said, yeah, I have to go, even though it's diverting from conventional Christianity, doctrine, and dogma. I went and I remember my family members saying, oh, you've joined a cult, what and what, initially. But when they saw the new me, now all accepting and their family members who turned to me for advice, for support, and so on. So, yeah.
Interesting.
So back to your point where we are talking about, yes, the masters came, they gave the message. And I think essentially for people who get exposed to the message at a certain level and you experience a bit of liberation, it's to bring that to the world, share it to the world. And an interesting part of now also the meditation of the loving kindness, this is what they call sharing of merits. So it's like whatever I've done to liberate me, because it's also a vibe, may it benefit the collective, essentially, yes.
Does it work?
Well, it does. Maybe not in ways that people can see directly, but it's like for a plant to grow, if the air is too dry, there is no moisture. Will it happen? Will it grow? Can we see the moisture in the air? But it's slowly contributing to. So similarly, that vibration that people who've been able to connect, that they're generating, it's affecting the environment. And that environment is helping others nurture and grow.
I love how you explain things. That's good and hopeful. What's your relationship with Christ now?
Christ.
Karibia.
Oh, sorry. So my relationship with Christ, it's interesting. I think we are part of the same team, doing the same job. Yeah.
So it's fine. You didn't fall out. You see, why I'm asking is because people
yes.
think
that.
ulimwacha sasa kwenda kwa
No.
Buddha.
Actually, I invoke Christ when doing metta for specific people. If I know somebody is a true believer in Christ, I'll even offer a prayer in now and invoke Christ. So I can say I use his spirit in my service to others.
Yeah. It's funny we're talking about this right now because yesterday I was walking around. I decided to just take a walk, and there's a church right across here, and I entered because I love churches.
Yes.
And then it's a Catholic church, Consolata, and then I just saw Jesus there, and I'm like, "Hi, Yeshua." And then we had like a whole conversation, and he's like such good peeps. And I emphasize to say that there is that conditioning that we got from the past and a misconception that it can only be Buddha, not Jesus.
Yes.
Krishna, not Jesus. I'm like, God, it's the same guy, just different manifestations of the same truth.
Yeah, it's actually, I like how in Hinduism it is taught. So in Hinduism, they call God the Godhead principle, Paramatma. So Paramatma doesn't manifest in its ultimate sense. But to serve existence, it will incarnate as an enlightened being. That is now the narrative that is given in Hinduism, who will be a Buddha, a Krishna, a Ram, a Christ.
A Christ, yeah.
And there are many who serve, maybe these are the popular ones that we know. There are many who in small pockets here and there who are doing the same work.
Yeah.
And you realize what is the message? The message is love. What did Jesus say is the highest, the fulfillment of the law? Love your neighbor, love God. The Buddha, wisdom, and what does wisdom lead to? Loving kindness. So you can see it's all coming back to cultivate love within you and share it with
others.
Yes.
Yes. So I hope people get that point. But
That is the
again,
point.
I've also learned from you that if someone is invested in clinging to a certain ideology,
Yes.
watakufa tu nayo.
Yeah. So there are two bits to that. So if you are not clinging to an ideology and you can see broadly, and your intention is to serve this person, you can serve them still. I have a friend who eventually he did Vipassana. He and the wife have done Vipassana, and they are very active. They are both also now in service. Initially, because he's also from a strong Christian background, he could see that I am on to something. Of course, we are close, so he has this level of trust. And we will have conversations. And he was like, don't you feel like you are deviating? We need to go back to the Bible. And I was like, okay, yes, there's nothing wrong with the Bible. The Bible is good. But do you think it is possible for you to have a direct connection? So my message to him was, work on that direct connection. Yes, reading the Bible from day to day, not bad, but where will it get you in terms of transformation? And he eventually saw it, and he started getting a bigger picture, and now he's doing good things. So
yeah, I think it's also important to mention that it's the same way you told us when you were explaining. There was the theory part of Dhamma and the practical part. So even if you know all the knowledge in the world, if you
It's
don't
useless.
practice, it's useless. It doesn't transform you. Transformation requires work.
yes, and actually even in Vipassana, the Goenkaji says, and now in Vipassana generally, they don't emphasize at all on the theory. They just give very little, just basic. And because the theory has the danger of egotism. You'll start
Spiritual ego.
Yes, and then the comparison and all that. But when you practice and you experience directly, no one will tell you, no, this is this way or that way. Something that you have experienced directly.
I think my head is full like this. So I'll ask you one last question. Then we'll have to do another session because we didn't even do all the questions I had.
Oh, okay.
What are the benefits of doing Vipassana and for practical purposes? Like, is it done by people in the outside world, the CEOs, you know what I mean? Like the people who do Vipassana, ni watu wagani na imewabenefit aje?
So is it just people who want to attain enlightenment?
Exactly.
Yes. So what I've found is that the practice It's applicable to everyone. It's universal. At whatever level you are at, it will work for you. If you are new, you just want to deal with the basic, maybe anxiety, or you want focus of mind, it has the opportunity to help you with that. You want to improve your relationships, it will help you with that. Many people with addictions, they are getting out of that. I told you that I quit alcohol, and also addictive behaviors, I became aware of them and got out of them. Even though the biggest addiction, thought, actually you realize that we are addicted to thinking.
I was going to ask that. That's the thing.
Yes.
I think I'm addicted to thinking.
All of us, not just you.
Ah, okay, thank God. Yes. And I think I'm so intelligent.
Yes, to keep the narrative going, we need to justify it. So there are those basic benefits. So we've talked about anyone and everyone can do it. So it doesn't matter whether you are rich or poor, because the good thing with the courses, they are run free of cost, free of charge. You don't pay anything. You take yourself with a commitment to stay there for the 10 days and just follow the guideline and practices. It'll work for you. So in that sense, open for everyone. In terms of simplicity, you've said how simple it is. I don't think it requires any special skill or competence to observe the breath or sensations on the body. Actually, I think people who are intellectual might have more of a challenge, because you tend to have a higher, give importance to thought. Whereas people who we think are simple don't do too much thinking, so they can experience things directly. Yeah. So it's not a matter of intellect, it's not a matter of money. As long as you are a normal human being, you can practice and you will benefit.
What benefits are there for a calm mind? I know one. I was reading a book. It's called Illuminate the Mind by Helen Kature. Shout out, Helen. And there is a place she's talked about a CEO. This for me stood out. A CEO who was narrating his experience, and he was saying he wakes up at 4 a.m. religiously to do the meditation. And I'm sorry to think he did Vipassana, but it's not written directly. He does it religiously. And she asked, what are the benefits? And he was saying things start becoming very synchronous. Yes.
Yeah.
He's a CEO, so he was talking of a branch he opened, so he was able to just, you connect to infinite intelligence, so you're able to know things other people don't know. People think you're a strategic thinker, you make very good decisions.
Actually, you're in flow. So going back to energy and manifestation, I usually think of Proverbs. Is it Proverbs 4:23? Above all else, guard your heart, because from it all the issues of your life arise. And then later on, reading about manifestation and how the universe responds to your vibe. So basically what you're doing when you meditate, you are tuning into a certain vibe, which now starts becoming like your core vibe. And when that becomes your core vibe, so the universe starts corresponding. And I'll give an example, personal one. So the universe took away everything. We mentioned that I was fairly successful. I went through this phase where everything was lost, to the point where I had to move into my friend's SQ because I couldn't afford rent. I had been auctioned and all that. But anyway, fast forward, I remember reaching a point where I was wondering, what will I do for livelihood? I have all this knowledge, I have this, I have that. I tried a business somewhere in Namibia, it failed. I came back, I was like, oh man, what will I do? I'll get back to research, but how will it work? And do you know, during a course, I met a contact, we talked, he said, oh, you do research, interesting, let's interact. Interacted, and we started working together, and livelihood was sorted. That is one. Also, I got other consultancies to talk about, basically to infuse the Dhamma into CBC. So you can see when you do the work will work for you.
But we have to also mention that it takes time.
It takes time, yes.
Because according to your story, it sounds like it didn't just boom.
It takes
You
time.
have, I know you personally, so I know you've really done this work, the practices, the meditation consistently for quite a while. Before the law of correspondence starts working, it takes time, so
Yeah.
that people don't give up.
Yes, because also we have different levels of defilements or blockages, if you can call them that, because they are what basically block us from manifesting. And as long as you're desiring something from a place of craving, fear, the vibe that you're sending out is scarcity, fear, and all that. So that's why many people don't understand that to manifest, you have to be, first of all, calm and non-clinging. Yes.
Well, there's a lot to learn. So we'll have to end here. You can
Alright.
say where people can reach you and find you before the next session, and also about Vipassana, though we are going to link it below. And then we call it an episode until the next one.
Okay. Well, if anyone would like to connect with me, I'm on IG. You can just search my name, Amwayi Tsuma. Or you can search at AKT369. You'll find me. Or if you want to find out more about Vipassana meditation, you can simply Google Vipassana Kenya, and our website will come up. That will take you there. Yes.
Yes.
Other than that, thanks so much for having me. This is a wonderful opportunity to share the positivity that has come into my life.
Yeah.
And I hope that it can uplift other people as well.